The following is a Tony Lasano podcast, an Opie show on the Radio Misfits Podcast Network. This is Free Kicks. So, Adam, we're back in the saddle?
Yes.
Are you all adjusted? You got your feet in the holsters there?
I certainly do.
Okay, I think they're called holsters. I don't know. What do you call the foot things on the saddles? I don't even know.
I have no idea.
So we should explain where we've been the last couple of weeks. So I mentioned in our last episode that I was going to be going on vacation, which I did. The vacation, unfortunately, was cut short because I had a bike injury, a mountain biking injury. I fell off a bike and was thrown into a stone jagged wall and broke my arm. And so I've been doing rehab. But, you know, the show must go on.
Yes.
And luckily we didn't miss too much in the soccer world. We'll catch everybody up here because it's time for Free Kicks.
And now, Free Kicks. Free Kicks with Illinois Youth Soccer Association's Director of Coaching, Adam Howarth, and Rick Kemper.
Doing it with one arm today, so I just want some kudos for that.
You get them from me.
Okay.
And we're glad to have you back. We're glad you're back in the US of A and working hard. So we appreciate it.
You know, I will tell you that one of my favorite things about being in Europe was getting to watch Sky TV.
Yeah, you mentioned that.
Yeah, there was. We were there with our friend Todd Schneider, who's a Aston Villa fan, and
boo, yes.
So we kept looking for ways to find, shows to watch about the Premiership, and they had a show, an hour-long show, just focusing on the Championship league. You know, the second division in England, and it was fantastic. Yep. You know, I forget how many good teams there are in the Championship right now.
Definitely. Yeah.
Watch Jamie Vardy score a goal. Remember Jamie Vardy?
Oh, absolutely, of course. Who can't forget Jamie Vardy? Yeah. Still at Leicester, banging them in. Absolutely. Yeah. They're top of the table, if I remember.
I love that. Yeah. But anyway, I just wanted to mention that to you. And the thing that we got to watch this past weekend was the USA national team. And they faced off against one of the world powers in Germany. And I just want to talk to you about that team because the first half I thought was pretty exciting.
Very good.
It looks like they're just a sniff away from being a world-class team. But
you're talking about Germany, right? You're talking about Germany, right? Oh, sorry. The downfall of Germany has happened so quickly, and I just wanted to make sure we were on the same page.
3 minutes. It took him 3 minutes to take a shot at the man with the one arm. It took 3 minutes. But I'm talking about the USA team.
Yeah.
Which I really think they are right on the cusp. But here's my opinion of it. When they take Gio Reyna out of the lineup, they are not. He is the key to that team, in my opinion. Your thoughts?
He's a good one. There's no question. And I think he was coming off. I think he's had some injury issues with his club team, so that was always the plan for him to kind of just play the 45 minutes. I think. But you're absolutely right. I think USA is definitely a better team with him in there. Certainly. Looked like we were creating a lot of opportunities in the first half, and you're absolutely right. I thought we were probably the better team in the first half.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to throw the second half away, partly because of all the substitutions that took place and all of the other things that kind of were in there. So I'm pretty, optimistic.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty optimistic about chances, about how things are going. I mean, again, first game back for him as the not really the first game, but I would say first really competitive game back as the head coach for Berhalter, and I think there was a lot of positives to take from that game.
Well, you have. We had our top lineup in there. For sure.
Exactly.
I mean, that was all of our best players. Wes McKinney was in there, and Gio Reyna, and Pulisic, and Tim Weah, and
minus Tyler Adams,
right,
because he would be in there for sure. Yeah.
But that was a very strong lineup that we put out there. Mm-hmm. And Germany put a fairly strong lineup out there, but I got to admit, in the second half when they started putting in their subs were like Goretzka and Thomas Miller, and maybe they were not playing their top team, but still, we look pretty good.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. I think there's a lot of positives there to put it into perspective. Again, it's a friendly, and friendlies are friendlies. I mean, there's that competition. Obviously, Berhalter and his ties to Germany, he grew up playing in Germany in terms of his professional career. And obviously, there's lots of links with some of the American players playing in the Bundesliga. So I think overall it was good. Now, we're recording this on the Tuesday, and the USA has another game tonight.
Right.
They play against Ghana. So we'll see how that goes. I'm sure there'll be a lot of changes in terms of players and substitutions and different things. But, positive.
All right.
I would say.
Well, this game, this show, I'm sorry, I'm on drugs. This show, it really focuses on the Premier League, so let's do that.
Yeah.
Premier League football. What's happening on the pitch?
Well, since we last spoke, there's a new team at the top of the table, a team that you have always respected and admired, a team that you consider maybe, the best franchise in the Premier League. Tottenham Hotspurs, number one.
And yeah, exactly. And they've made it to the top of the table after a convincing 1-0 victory over Luton Town, who I predicted to have a stellar season in the Premier League. So, yeah, that's good for Tottenham. Congratulations, you're top of the table after 8 games. Well done. Let's see where it all ends up. That's all I have to say.
Who have they beaten, right?
Yeah, who have they beaten?
Right.
Who have they beaten?
That is true.
But
the schedule has been kind to them so far.
Yeah, but they got. I mean, you can only beat who you got in front. They got 6 wins out of 8, and certainly their manager Ange Postecoglou, hopefully I said it correctly, from Australia, has definitely inspired that team. The Spurs fans are definitely a lot more energized with this team. James Maddison's playing very well. Son's playing well. And remember, this is all without their best player that they've ever had in Harry Kane. So.
Yeah, imagine if the one thing that changes is Harry Kane leaves and then they win some sort of a trophy for the first time ever. And he's in Bayern right now, which is not in first place for the first time in many, many years.
It would be ironic that he leaves to go to win trophies and he doesn't win one and his team does. So yeah, that would be tough.
Well, let's talk about Man City, because they're as we record this, they're on a 2-game losing streak. I can't remember the last 2-game losing streak that team was on. Are you worried?
A little bit. No, I don't think so. I mean, that Arsenal game, was a big one. This was back on Sunday. Obviously, we didn't have games this past weekend. It was the weekend before. It was a great win for Arsenal. I think it probably propelled them in terms of, yes, we're a contender now, an official contender. But for Manchester City, yeah, I wasn't overly worried. The goal was kind of hit off somebody's face.
Right.
Daniel Arcazin went in. Probably a draw would have been a fair result, but kudos to Arsenal getting the result there. But it's going to be tight at the top. And remember, Manchester City came from quite a few points behind when Arsenal were up last year to win it.
True.
So I wouldn't. I'm not overly worried. They're just too good of a team, and there's always going to be a little bit of a downfall after winning what they won last year. No question.
That's true. It's hard to stay motivated when you've won everything many times. But I will say that Arsenal, I have to give them a tip of the cap. They are at least not celebrating as ridiculously as they have in the past.
Yes.
So
yeah, and they're doing it without Saka too, who was injured. They're arguably their best player. So he's been out with an injury. So, I'll give them a lot of credit there to be able to come through with players. They made some shrewd signings, I think. Obviously, Declan Rice helps them out tremendously. Kai Havertz there from Chelsea. He's come over. I'm not sure how much of an impact he's made yet. But they've got some players there that can definitely influence and push them over it's certainly a top 4 finish.
I was watching Nottingham Forest a few weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
And former Arsenal goalkeeper Matt Turner is their starting goalkeeper. Is also USA's starting goalkeeper.
Mm-hmm.
He's good. I mean, he gets a lot of shots on goal there in Nottingham, but I think he really is showing something as a keeper. That was a good move for him.
Yeah, he's getting some game time, and I mean that's ultimately what he needed. As the first team, as the starter for the national team, you would expect to be playing a great deal. And so that's been good for him. Now, he's got some competition because that squad's got, I believe they just signed recently I think it was the Greek national team goalkeeper. So he's got competition around him. So that's going to keep him on his toes. Hopefully he can keep pushing forward in his own progression and his own play. Hopefully he'll move forward in terms of how he's doing. But he's off to a decent start.
Yeah.
Like you said, getting a lot of chances, getting a lot of saves.
Yes, he is. And let's talk about the surging teams in the Premiership. There's a team in London that has won 2 games in a row.
Yeah.
And this is a team. This is a mid-table team that has really struggled the last year or so. I'm talking, of course, about Chelsea.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure where he was going with that. I was trying to think of mid-table teams that have won 2 games in a row. And it's maybe things are starting to move forward. Scored a few goals, a good result in their last game away from home. And things are starting to move a little bit together. It's just going to take a little bit more time than probably the Chelsea fans want. But I think they're going to have some good tests coming up. Their next few games are going to be very, very difficult. So we'll see exactly if this surge can continue.
Wow, that does not sound optimistic at all. Have you been beaten down?
No, I'm not beaten down at all. I'm optimistic. I'm cautiously optimistic because, we've won 2 games in a row, and that's okay. Those are 2 games that we would expect to win. But ultimately, the test is going to be the teams above them. So I'm quietly confident.
Okay. Well, let's talk about Luton Town. You mentioned them earlier. You predicted them to finish with less than 10 points, I believe.
Yep. Still on course for that.
Well,
by the way.
I don't know. I'd be a little worried. They're surging. They have 4 points now, and they have jumped out of the bottom 3. I think they're still like 17th or something. But,
their last 5 games, Rick, come on, they've won a game. Okay, congratulations, you won a game.
Look at the teams below them. They haven't.
No, I agree. They've won 1, the others haven't. But to be fair, Burnley, who's below them, did beat Luton. So, they just got to play those teams. And when they play them, they're going to lose. And then they'll be back down there. So they got lucky. They got the win. They win. I'm not sure who did they beat, by the way. Do you remember?
No, I don't remember now that you mentioned.
But anyway, I think
it was Bournemouth.
Bournemouth. So they did beat one of the teams below them. So, that's right. They played them at Bournemouth. So well done to them. They got their win. I still feel pretty good about my prediction. Now they do play a Nottingham Forest side this week, but hey, you got Matt Turner in goal. They're not going to score, so it's all good. It's all good. So I'm good. 10 points. I would even predict 9.
Wow.
They'll get 9.
Okay. All right. You heard it here first. Bournemouth, we were talking about them briefly. Tyler Adams is now with Bournemouth, right?
Yes, that's right.
Has he played yet? Is he still hurt?
Still hurt. Still out for a little while. I'm not sure what's going to happen. I mean, he's a massive hole in that midfield. I mean, they definitely would utilize him, but from an injury standpoint, yeah, he's going to be out for a little while. I think he had. The issue is his hamstring, and those hamstrings are a big problem. So he hasn't needed. There's a talk last week that were talking about potential surgery.
Oh, that's bad.
But he's going to be out for a while, and so that's going to be the problem. So I think we're looking at quite a few months that he could be potentially out.
Okay.
So, yeah, not good. Not good.
Yeah, that's a bummer. Well, Free Kicks is brought to you by the Illinois Youth Soccer Association, and I know you have been a very busy beaver over at IYSA, so tell us about what's going on.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Illinois Youth Soccer, proudly serving the Illinois soccer community since 1975 and has a strong history of credibility. Is one of Illinois' largest youth sports organizations and is a nonprofit corporation, official state association, as well as official state association and charter member of the U.S. Soccer Federation and U.S. Youth Soccer. And we administer U.S. Soccer Federation Olympic Development Program, coaching programs, and referee programs. So, and you can find more information at illinoisyouthsoccer.org. Very busy last week. Had a great week. We had 22 director of coaches in our offices all week. So really enjoyed spending some time. They are taking the first club leadership course that's ever been hosted in Illinois, also known as the DOC course, the DOC license. So as long as they get all their work done, and they're all in a good space right now, they will end up in the end of December or middle of December with one of the first DOC licenses in the state of Illinois. And that's obviously a national license. So, we had some great times, some good discussions, solving all of the problems with U.S. youth soccer. And
22, that's a very good turnout. 22 directors of coaching. Wow.
Yeah, so we've got 20 from Illinois. One who was formerly in Illinois is now living in Washington State, so all the way out there. And then another DOC from Iowa. So, pretty much a group that they all know each other very well. And I think that's what's been really quite nice about the course.
How many people were wearing black sweatpants with the black training suits?
It was pretty much I would say a tracksuit convention each day. So, yes, it would be like going to the National Soccer Coaches Convention. So, I think everybody was there dressed. We had a few people would, occasionally dress in some slightly different colors, but for the most part, it was black.
Did anybody wear any proper pants?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
A couple people did. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
It just cracks me up every time I see these coaching things, and I've gone to a few of them with you.
Yes.
They're all dressed in exactly the same way. They have like uniforms they wear.
Yeah, of course, absolutely. Yeah. They got a swoosh or three stripes, pretty much. That's kind of how it works, right? So, it's really good conversations, some good chat. We was able to get on the field a little bit too, so they got to work with it. We was able to go out to a new facility out in Northbrook area, which was great. I don't know if you've seen that new facility. Pretty. It's called the Willow Dome, brand new indoor facility, very close to Athletico there.
Does one of the clubs run it?
I think it's not necessarily run by a club, but a lot of clubs are going to be in there in the winter. I think it's already pretty fully booked, but nice facility. So they was able to get on the field a little bit, and we had some rough weather this last week, so we was glad to go inside. It's kind of starting to turn that way, unfortunately, Rick.
Yeah,
it's starting to get close to indoor soccer weather.
Yep.
But it was good. Good week.
All right. Time for your favorite feature. I know you've missed this tremendously.
Time now to guess the Premier League star.
Okay. I think this one is going to be a tough one. That's all I'm going to say. All right.
Okay. All right.
This week's Premier League star is 23 years old.
Okay.
He's a good English lad. He played for the youth national teams coming up, but he has never played for the senior club, the men's national team. He came up through the Wolverhampton Youth Academy.
Okay.
Started playing there when he was quite young. Was a superstar there and played on all the youth national teams. He wears number 10, but is more really of an attacking midfielder / winger. I've watched him play a few times. He's exciting, but he doesn't really play like a traditional number 10.
Interesting.
He plays for a team that was recently promoted, but a team that has been in the league for at least a year.
Okay. Gotcha.
Have you narrowed it down at all yet?
I think I've got an idea. Would this be a player? He's playing on a team that has a really good American goalkeeper.
Oh, yes.
Okay. So, and has done pretty well. I think he's definitely a little bit of a difference maker, probably on the verge of a call-up, maybe, would you say?
I would say, yes.
So I'm going to go with, because you love your hyphenated names,
That was
Mr.
my last clue.
Morgan Gibbs White.
That is correct. Morgan Gibbs White. His hyphenated name sounds similar to one of our sponsors. Gibbs White could have played for Green White.
Yes, exactly. But yeah, what a great player! I think he's a player of promise, and like you said, he's played on every single national team up until the first team. So that always helps players down the road, no matter how you look at it, because they're in the system, as they say.
But he's good. I mean, I watched that.
Yeah, he's a good player.
I watched the Nottingham game. He's exciting. I mean, he has skills. I believe he scored a goal or he assisted on a goal in the game I was watching. It was just a thing of beauty. He's got. He's someone to look out for. He's one of the reasons that Nottingham is not in the bottom three right now.
And to think about this kind of puts it in perspective. This is how old we are. He was born in 2000.
I know. He was born.
That's when he was born. That's when he was born.
Which was yesterday. Look at the calendar.
Yeah, exactly.
It was yesterday.
I thought it was last week. Exactly. Yeah, absolutely. You're absolutely right. I'm like, my goodness, what I'm having when my kids are that age, it's like that's scary.
I've got two sons older than that.
I know. My daughter was born the next year, so I'm with you. I know exactly. So yeah, unbelievable. But yeah, I think he's a good one. He's a good one. I think he's definitely going to be in and around the first team for sure.
All right, time for this feature. Here we go.
Now time for Adam's Weekend Soccer TV Tip.
Okay, I have to admit, as much as I enjoyed watching the U.S. national team, I really missed Premier League soccer over the international break. I was home. I've got this wounded wing. All I just wanted to watch Premier League games all weekend, and not happening.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, there was a few international matches. The Euro qualifier games are kind of going through that process.
Yeah.
Obviously, Germany doesn't have any of those games because they've already qualified because they're hosting.
Yeah, that's true.
That's why they were over here. But there'll be some good ones this week. But especially England, Italy should be a good one today on Tuesday as we record it. But
by the way, I put my name in the lottery for tickets.
Oh, okay, nice. Yes, exactly.
I'd like to go to Germany next summer for that.
That would be awesome. I agree. That would be a really fun place to be in terms of watching games, and obviously you know that place pretty well, so that's good.
I do.
But yeah, so this weekend, I mean, we've got some really good games, and I'm going to go with two. Partly because the first one, I know it's going to be a challenge for you to get up, but it's a derby.
Okay,
it's your team, Liverpool, Everton.
Oh,
6:30 in the morning.
Come on, guys.
Yeah. I know. It's like, could you put one of the best games out there at 6:30? But that's just a teaser. So if you do get up, maybe watch that second half. You can have your tea and your bacon sarnie. You could be in good there.
My brown sauce.
And your brown sauce or ketchup, whatever you put on there. But it's all just a taster for the big one. 11:30 at Stamford Bridge. The Blues, Chelsea versus Arsenal. That's the big one for the weekend. Got to watch that one.
That is a huge one for Chelsea.
Exactly. The question is going to be, are Chelsea back?
Yeah, we'll find out.
That's going to be the question. We'll find out. But yes, excited for that one. We'll see where we're at. Obviously, Arsenal is going to be good. I think Saka's probably still going to be out, still injured. But they got a lot of talent there, a lot of players there. And I know Chelsea dealing with a couple of slight injuries. Well, they've got quite a few permanently injured, at least through till November. But should be a good one. So, yeah, Chelsea, Arsenal, probably on NBC.
Okay. They did spend $1 billion. So I think
they did.
They should have some players available for that game. Free Kicks is brought to you by Green White Soccer Club. I guess one of our guys was at your director of coaching
It certainly was.
Mustafa Edders leads the program. Go to greenwhitesoccer.org to find out more. This show has been produced by Tony Lasano. We always like to thank Tony. And sorry, Tony, that we were out for a couple of weeks, but we're back. And it's been distributed by Ed Silla with Radio Misfits. Great Talk Radio isn't dead. They just moved to a better place. And that's radiomisfits.com. And Adam and I are back on the schedule again. We'll be back again next week with a brand new episode of Free Kicks. The preceding was a presentation of Opie Productions. Find our other great shows wherever you find podcasts, including opishows.com. Thank you.
This has been a presentation of Opie Productions.
Tony, can you shut up?